Hi guys, I'm definitely getting there with my bullet journal. I'm feeling really happy with the amount of work I've done now. Difficult to switch between my face and filming below, and there's probably ways to do this because I've got an iPad and an iPhone and a Mac, so I will do a bit of research to try and make this less difficult. But yeah, I filled out my future log. I've been quite busy in terms of doing ideas and spreads which I've worked on. I'm going to come back to this because this is a specific conversation in its own right. But yes, I've got my books to read page ready populated again. I've got my Henry Hound tracker to make sure that his health is being monitored carefully. Haven't filled out my spend yet, but I'm getting there. I've got my brand page so I can remember the colours, and I've got my labels where I'm trying to identify the areas of uniqueness in my life. I have my social spread tracker here, which is really helpful to keep an eye on. Listing out my 12 favourite problems, which is a really interesting thing to get your mind working and think about essay ideas, and also hopefully future YouTube videos as well when I get into the spreads of how to tackle them. I hope you've come across Lucy Peach, The Power of the Period, because I'm a bit ashamed at the ripe old age of my 48 to only just be learning about the cycle and when you should be doing stuff. But I'm so pleased people talk about this thing more often now, because yeah, how have I managed to get to this age and be successful without actually understanding how to harness the power of my cycle. Essay topics list, and what I'm going through now, and it's going to take a while. I've actually done 39 now. I'm really proud of that. Identify what the core idea is. So really distilling down all that, which could be sort of 800 words, 1,000 words, more, some of them, into, if I really had to make it under a paragraph or even a sentence, what would that core idea be? Because then that's a simpler way to maybe repurpose and do simpler, more straightforward YouTube videos, which is again my intention, to take some of these topics and really go deep, but not in a rambly way, so that we can have how-tos on bullet journaling with those Ikigai concepts in mind. But yeah, that's a really good tracker as where I'm up to with reading out my essay on YouTube and also on the podcast. So into the actual practice itself, I'm really happy with the way my monthly spreads are looking. I'm probably going to do this actual format for all of them because it's my excuse to go rainbowy, which I really love. But yeah, so the month at a glance. So I go back to the feature log and have a little look, make sure I put all the important dates in so you can see at a glance where you need to be. I have my gratitude line a day column, and I've got space here to sort of high level, probably a bit later in the month, what was July remembered for, what was important about the month. And oh my gosh, it's been a brilliant month. If you're in the UK, England are in the final of the Euros. We've just had Labour voted in, and July's been amazing. So amazing. I'm really happy at the moment. But then the monthly translates into this weekly format is where I've landed. So I space out my weekly, usually work appointments, but any other appointments I have, my to-do list. Importantly, at the moment, the habit that I am tracking is to eat 30 different plants a week, because that helps with your gut biome and health, and it's quite a nice fun one to do. So I track that on a weekly basis, and then each day, this is more kind of rapid logging. I'm trying to capture an essence of what the day felt like weather-wise, what I was up to, how I was feeling, what I watched, because I remember when I reviewed last year's journal, it felt like I didn't really talk about me, my feelings, what went on, unless it was something hugely significant, in which case you probably remember it. What I love about this is it's really stretching out my sense of time, so I can look back and really remember how I was feeling each day, which is a brilliant thing to do, I think. So yeah, 2 weeks up so far. And then also in terms of the rest of the spreads, I've actually got my community brainstorm page. I have my problems to solve brainstorm page, which is just at very early days in terms of dumping down ideas. Essay ideas, really important. Really need to flesh this one out so that I've got lots of things bubbling around in my head, and I've got my next phase of essays planned out, so I'm not panicking. I'm loving the idea that after nearly a year of thinking about this, I'm really getting clear on what my intersections are. So just having a little place to dump down that brainstorming is really helpful, I think. My online thinking spread, where I've got a list of socials or different online services that I've started up or think I might want to start up doing Seeking Ikigai stuff, so I can keep an eye on that and remember what I'm doing. And also there's some other online services I'm part of that I need to remember to maximise and check in and do things with. Product thinking, these are some spreads that I've just knocked up today. So really sort of thinking about, okay, what am I actually getting towards in terms of productizing, or, you know, something that I could potentially make money out of at some point. Yeah, just loose ideas at this moment in time. And then the last one today is YouTube ideas, and that's very very sparse at the moment, and definitely something I need to work on in more detail. So that's where I'm at so far with the second half of my 2024 journaling, and I have to say I am so happy with the way it looks, the way it feels. None of these spreads are difficult, took a long time. It was all about having nice colours, nice washi tape. Only takes a couple of minutes to do, but makes me feel really good about using them, and it makes me want to flick back and add to the mind map. So these are the really early phases, but if you look back at my last journal, let's find one of the pages. So for example, this is what my essay ideas ended up looking like at the end of the 6 months. So this is what I'm going to be doing in my new book. I will branch out, or I'll write a little note underneath. You know, whenever I have an idea, I've got somewhere to put it. And that's what I've found really helpful about this process and being really intentional about it, is I'm not letting those fleeting ideas disappear or dissipate. I'm usually having them when I've got my journal with me, and if I don't have them with my journal, then I will read aloud to my iPhone. It's usually when I'm out walking that you think, oh gosh. So yeah, just a quick audio note. And then obviously at some point, you know, usually on a Sunday, say when I'm doing my sort of getting ready for next week, I'll just remember to check back and see, did I make any notes this week? Likewise, when you're on your browser, whether that's on your work machine or your personal machine, you can do bookmarks. I've actually got a Notion page, a really simple one. It's not pretty at all, where I can link URLs or just jot down quick messages to myself if I've had a bit of an idea. And again, what I would then do is bring them into here, because this is where I find it easier to flesh out. It's where I find it quicker for the maelstrom of stuff going on up here to really, I suppose, marinate, to come through, for me to feel that I've got a proper connection, and it's got some emotion, it's got some feeling, it's got a sense of time, maybe a sense of smell and touch. I just find I'm much more creative when I've got my hands on it, rather than it being one step removed with keyboard. Don't get me wrong, brilliant, love tools. I'm a techie person through and through. But when it comes to my brand of trying to harness all this stuff into something creative, definitely pen to paper, felt tips to paper, pretty coloured tapes to paper. And yeah, that's what makes me happy, and that's how I am loving more than I can express. Hopefully it's coming through a little bit. This is ordering my life, it's ordering my chaotic thoughts, it's giving me a sense of purpose itself, separately to whether I'm finding Ikigai or not. Having a Bible, it's almost like my second brain, but not quite organised enough. But I like that. I like the fact that it's all over the place. So as this year progresses, I'm going to be flicking to the beginning. I'm going to there'll be a section in the middle. Yeah, I love that. That kind of, to me, feels quite organic, and how my mind works. I'm a bit visual, but definitely a mind mapper. Somebody that likes to see the connections and the threads, and I will draw out something here and something here, and maybe something connects them, and maybe something's overlapping from here to here. And yeah, that's where I get my pleasure from in bullet journaling in this way. So yes, I hope this is helpful, and I look forward to coming back when I've got some more tangible ideas in terms of how-tos, you know, a lot more clear punchy, more like an education, I suppose, in terms of Ikigai and how to actually manufacture some of these things rather than it being so theoretical. But yes, thank you so much for listening. I'm Sarah, still seeking Ikigai. Thank you so much for watching.